If I leave my head at this level, it looks like I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm so cool. Just kidding. That's not my eyes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Amber City. How are we doing today? Good? Great? Back to the sunglasses. No. Anyway, how are y'all doing? Oh, you want to go in? Go ahead. After you. Don't mind if I do. But anyways, guys, welcome back. We have a lot to crack on down today. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but we are actually hitting some big strides. We're hitting quite some big strides. We have multiple streets that you look down them and you see full cityscapes. We have full walkable buildings. We have infrastructure integrated into the houses themselves. We have multiple named locations. We are really starting to get into the swing of things, and that is really making me happy. There are a few things that we really got to knock out. Now, one of the initial ideas whenever I was making this build concept in my head was I wanted to build a city kind of themed around the concept of industrialization and integration into design together. I wanted the aesthetics of something to kind of enhance the utility of it. So for instance, this building I use for collecting shroomlights, but this is also hosting, a sugarcane farm, or even this little utility right here. It has sweet berries if I need them. And a small thing that you probably haven't noticed, but if I've ever needed red dye, I come up here and I use this. I just bone mill these blocks as I need. And this is just a small thing, but it's the kind of the basis of everything that I'm doing here. And I think that we need to make a few more things, a bit more infrastructure, so that we can fill out this part of the city. I'm not comfortable just slamming houses down on the edge, because while I think it would still look good, I think it defeats the entire purpose of why I came to do this. And so I think I want to make a few more utility buildings, some usefulness, and then I want to show y'all how I plan on making it all tie into the city itself. So, the things that I think that I want to get collected are cactus, honey, wax, wool, netherwort, coarse fruit, mud, pumpkin, melon, sniffer flowers, potions, and potion-related ingredients, and all of things associated with maintaining, continuously using, and the upkeep of these farms. Also, Mojang, why are signs in stacks of 16? What good does this do? Who does this help? What's the point? What's the point? There is none. And I will just have to live with that forever. I fear. I truly fear. Now, if any of y'all have been paying a lick of attention, you may have noticed that we actually have quite a few of the components for these farms, or we've used them somewhat for ourselves. That includes the honey and wax. I had a small bee farm in the original base. I had a small sheep farm as well, and I have manually gathered a somewhat consistent amount of everything else here. Like, I've gotten mud by hand before, I've collected pumpkins by hand before, I've made potions with the off uses of them, I've collected honey for green dye and stuff like that, but that's not the point. The thing that I'm really going for here is I want them to all be accessible within the city. I want that to be the point of it. I want it to feel like things are being produced and used, and I need to go to certain locations to do certain things. So that's what we're going to do today. And this is what that's going to look like. We've got our farms done. Nice, done, and dusted. We've got our pumpkin and melon farm working overtime. Got our sniffer farm starting to get us these lovely, unique flowers. And we have our modificator. Whoa, 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 whoa. Editing embrace here. That is specifically the modificator made by Pearlescent Moon on Hermitcraft, Season 10. And I just want to give credit where credit's due. I did not come up with the design. I stole it, yoinked it, but wanted to make sure that y'all knew where it came from. Anyways, back to the episode. Our nether wart, our wax and bee breeder. So that's the main thing that this is going to be used for. This is not going to be used for producing honey and honeycombs. The main thing that I want this to do is to be used for populating beehives. And then our sheep farm, this isn't really set up yet, but that's just because I'm running low on iron, and I didn't want to make another farm at the moment. I wanted to get to some other stuff today. And so this we're going to have to let sit for a little bit. But to be fair, I have built up a surplus of wool, and I do not require it right now. So this was going to sit on the back burner for a minute. And the cactus farm, while a little bit inefficient, is also producing quite well for how passively it's producing. And that is the true goal of a majority of this, is that I want these things to be running while I'm here, while I'm doing things around the buildings and while I exist. I have a tendency to make manual farms where I am the one having to do the process and creating the things and yada yada yada. And I don't want that to be necessarily true for these few farms. I think they're going to exist and proliferate without me. And I'm going to have a few that will require some hand maintenance and some upkeep, and that's going to be these two. Specifically because this is purely on a need basis. I should never need that much mud, but in case I do ever need mud again, I don't have to go thousands and thousands of blocks away to a mangrove. I can just come right here and make it instead, because I have a surplus of dirt. And then also for the netherwort farm, I really wanted to touch into potion making. It's something that I myself have never really gotten super in depth with in the Minecraft realm, but I have a building in mind that I think will really benefit from having some systems in it and creating some potion creation. It's a process that I've never really gotten too in depth with, and I think that's something that I want to touch on. But yeah, speaking of moving on, good transition, I think it's time that we finally put a cap on this building. This has been sitting here for quite a while. I shouldn't say that. The bambooificator. The bambooificator needs a cover. It has been a bit of an eyesore, and I think it's time that we just cap it with the building. Just put something on top of it. And that will also help enclose this area over here. And I've gathered up some tuff to get us started. Roll the time lapse. And there we go. Nothing too fancy, just a building to get us rolling in the right direction. We have a choice that I've made. I've decided that I'm not going to lean into the all white tops. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take inspiration from that area over there where I started playing around with integrating colors a bit more, because I realized that even though I could make a quote-unquote neighborhood that is same, I think the way I'm instead going to tie these buildings together is through the bottom, through these tough layers. and that will allow me to integrate things to feel similar while not feeling the same. And I think that is my goal. I'm emulating the feeling that London and these large neighborhoods and boroughs have without the without the boringness that comes with those actual neighborhoods. Because while they're exciting in person, they're not as exciting in a video game. And so we get to kind of touch on those elements of making something that lives up to our expectations and scale, while also still being able to pay homage to the thing that we're inspired by. Now that we've got our establishing shot, how about we knock out the rest of the neighborhood? How ambitious. Quite ambitious. Wow, the whole neighborhood? The whole neighborhood. So quickly, you really want to just knock out a whole neighborhood. Wow, and you did it too, huh? That this is the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood, huh? Oh, you wanted the rest of it too? You wanted the rest of the streets to be done? Wow, that's not gonna happen. No, not gonna happen. No, instead, I thought I would take a break here, and instead, I would show you the things that are going to get done, and I wanted to take you on a bit of a exploration of an idea that I'm working on. So I really like the red notes that I brought over here, specifically because it's a very distinct different red than the ones over there, where they're kind of rusted and brown. These are more red and truly red. And the other thing I was playing around with was moving these lamps over here. I wanted to see if they would be as enjoyable, or if I would have to come up with a different design that kind of agrees with the tough colors and textures that I was playing with. And to be honest, I actually like them more over here, because you can see the contrast of all the orange against the blue and the gray. It makes the orange and red notes pop so much more. I like that very much so. And now that we've got that out of the way, I may as well come over and show you this. We've expanded the street this way because I can't stop making it bigger. I can't. For some reason, even though my workload keeps getting larger, I feel the need to make the city bigger. It's gotta feel like a city. But besides my destructive tendencies, I think it's time that we look at what the thing that I want to actually look at with you together is. This right over here. I've put together kind of a block palette that I was kind of meandering around with. In fact, I'm actually going to add this one just to see if I like it, because I was thinking about it. I want to play around with these blocks in a sequence to make this path much more interesting than just path. Specifically, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use cobblestone to kind of denote walking paths and where people will actually walk. And I also wanted to try decorating this area a bit more. And so I think we're going to walk through that together. We're going to start by knocking out this initial dirt. Now that we've mined all that dirt, let's play some dirt. No, I'm kidding. I actually want to start with these two blocks and lay out a path to see how that's going to feel. Something along the areas that are going to be walked over the most. So that's going to be buildings like this, buildings like this, and where they come together. Something along those lines. Mix in some of our more colorful blocks. Like that? That feels quite interesting to me. I'm actually quite happy with that. I've also realized that I've put no natural light in this area, and I'm going to have to find ways to bring lamps into here. I probably will hang them over the doorways. Something like that. But that is not the thing I'm focused on right now. The thing that I think I want to do next is actually right over here. Alright, so I've laid out kind of the concept of what I'm feeling. I have this pool right here that I think I want to fill with water and tidy up with water plants. But in the meantime, I wanted to pass by this idea with you that I was thinking about. I was thinking about creating custom plants as a way to kind of create intrigue. Ooh, goodness. I personally think they're really interesting. I like these a lot. And the other thing I was thinking about doing, hold on. There we go. I've gathered some up, and I want to play around with using these to break up some textures and connect some blocks. Something like that. I like that. I like that a lot. And so we're just going to duplicate these on the other side. Like that. There we go. I think these look too identical. So I think I'm going to move this one over one. We're going to move this over as well. Like that. Bonk, bonk. There we go. And then I think we're going to move on to the pond. So we do actually have to be a bit specific and delicate with the way that we do this, because we are in a mountain biome. And if we're not careful, the water's going to freeze. So every block that I don't put a plant in, I am going to have to put something else instead. So let's just get this all mixed in together. Like so. Get some drip leaf going. Like that. Ooh. One more for fun. And then now we have to put seagrass in all of the places that we didn't put anything of interest. Just so we don't get ice forming. Now that we have a very unique and distinct look to our neighborhood, I think we need to give them the feeling that they're going to have. I think we're going to do that by separating them from everybody else. This is going to be a gated community. Haha. I think this will truly achieve the effect I'm going for, and that's that only those who live here can get in. Like that. I think that's quite nice. That's super cool. I think I may actually add an arch to this, and I may play around with putting a door somewhere on this, but I think for now this is a good stopping point for this area. And there we have it. A nice, beautiful gated community to keep those pesky poor people out and our nice, rich civilization isolated. I even lit it up a bit. Made sure that everything's on nice and dandy. And that is quite lovely. Even a little bit of parkour for the rich. Of course, because you know the rich, they love their parkour. But now it's time to move on to something else. Yeah, I'm the coolest dude. Suck it, poor people. You guys wish you could do parkour like me. Alright. God, I'm the coolest guy in the world, aren't I? Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to end the episode, not to praise it. Is one's optimization done at the end of the day worth the creation of something greater? 'Tis nobler to bear the slings and arrows of skeletons, or to build a shield and end them. They know what they do. No, I'm just kidding. That's all for today, y'all. I'm so glad that y'all could come along and enjoy what we were doing here today and spend some time with me. Bye bye, Crispy. We'll see you next episode. And I'll see y'all next time in the Amber City. Bye bye.